Hi, and welcome to the weekly Mindful Moment with Hands to Heart Center. My name is Jessi Rosinski, and I'm a volunteer with Hands to Heart Center, and so glad that you tuned in for a few moments of mindfulness. So to get started today, take a seat, stand up or lie down. Any posture is appropriate, and whichever you choose, just see if your body can be symmetrical. So equal weight distribution on both sides, and feel like the spine is strong and tall. So you can imagine it's really elongated from your tailbone all the way up to your crown. And take a few deep and settling breaths. So in through the nose, inside out. Squeeze all the air out through the mouth. In again through the nose. Really fill up the belly, expands, ribs, chest lifts. And then exhale, sigh it out through the mouth again. Let's do one more. Deep in through the nose. Take a little extra sip of air at the top. And sigh it out. And from here, you can just release your attention from the breath, and the body will take over in a few cycles of breath and return to its own natural rhythm. And you can turn your attention to seeing if there's any part of your body that can relax a little bit. Maybe there's some obvious tension in the shoulders or jaw that you could release a bit. Check the hands or feet for any clenching. See if the belly can remain soft, even if that feels really unusual. If we often have a holding in our midsection, but can you give your belly really permission to let out? And if there's any other areas of your body that could soften a little, definitely invite them to do so. And if your eyes are open, feel free to keep them that way or close them or just gaze gently downward. And we'll start by bringing to mind something that generates some pleasantness or some gladness in your mind. And this can really be anything from a place that you love to be, a memory, bringing to mind a person or a pet that's dear to you. Thinking about something that you might be anticipating or looking forward to, or an activity that brings you joy. Anything that just feels a little bit comforting, a little bit pleasant. The idea, kind of like when you pull up a warm fuzzy blanket. So any kind of image. You'll just keep that in mind. And notice how it is that you feel. Can you sense those pleasant feelings, maybe some happiness or gladness, joy? Perhaps there's an easiness or relaxation that goes with it. And just keep this image with you for a few moments. And notice the uplift that you feel in your body. And we'll use this image, whatever it is that you've chosen, as our anchor today. So as we sit for stillness for a few moments, you can feel free to stay with this idea, or you can think about, focusing on your breath. And when you notice your mind start to wander, you'll come back to this anchor of pleasantness. And so your attention can just rest on the scene or the being that you've chosen, or the food or smell, whatever it is. If you prefer to let that go and just focus on your breath, you can do that as well. And in either case, when you notice your attention start to wander, go elsewhere, just come back to this thing that brings you a little bit of gladness. And we'll spend the next several moments in silence and in stillness. And I'll give a few guidelines throughout, but it'll mostly be quiet time just for you. And anytime you notice that your mind has started to wander or get absorbed in thinking, you can just come back to your anchor, that pleasant image. And notice the feeling that it brings your body. Maybe a lightness, slightly relaxed, more easy, a little happy. And just stay with that. If there's any part of your body that could relax a little bit more, you might invite that. Perhaps it's the jaw, the shoulders, the belly. Anywhere that could just be a little bit more easy and soft. And over again, you're coming back to that image of pleasantness. And each time you do that, it generates a little bit of kindness for yourself. So the mindfulness is the awareness that notices that you might be thinking or lost in some kind of sense experience, and the mindfulness is what notices that and brings you back to your anchor, to that pleasant thought. As many times as you need, returning back to your anchor. And each time with kindness and that feeling of pleasantness that brings you back to your image. And in our last few moments of stillness, see if you can bring back your pleasant image even stronger. Really stay with it and see if as you're there, you can really feel that kindness and appreciation, a little bit of gladdening in the mind and in the heart, and in the body as a whole. And as the sound of the bell fades away, feel free to open the eyes if they've been closed. You might want to look around your space just to reorient yourself a little bit and see what objects you notice around you: table, window, plant, computer. And if any stretching would be helpful, feel free to do that. And I hope that you might keep this image of kindness and pleasantness with you throughout your day. Thank you for spending some time with me in Hands to Heart Center, and I'll look forward to seeing you at the next mindful moment.